with like our product and everything that we do in BBG Solutions, and when we started the Callback tracker, it all falls into a marketing category, and we just see how people are trying to find the business idea, and then as soon as they'll find the business idea, they will put like a website or a brochure, or they will print a business card, and they will start looking for clients, and they realize, okay, yeah, I have a website, I have a business card, but nobody's buying my product or service. Or they will get like a random customer that will keep them is inspirational for a moment, but then they need to find like another client and another client. So it's like in the hunting, sometimes you will hunt and catch like a little rabbit, and it will be good for a day. Then in some cases you will catch like a big deer, or I don't know, mountain lion or elephant, and you will eat it for for 3 months or so. And we just see that a lot of people struggle, especially a lot of entrepreneurs. They always on the go, they're always looking for different ideas, and this is why we decided to just educate people in marketing. And I'm not a marketing expert yet, but I know enough about marketing so that we already spend a lot of money on Google, on Facebook, on just printing materials, and we just would like to share that knowledge with people. That the whole idea of that podcast that we started, and also at the same time there is like a different category of network marketing or multi-level marketing. And since you've been in that business for a long time, I just would like to talk to you a little bit about this, because actually I have a lot of friends that also do network marketing businesses, and they are very successful. But also I have some people that I know that they tried like a network marketing, but it did not work for them, or they've been like so aggressive with what they've been trying to do that people just are trying to stay away from them.
Yeah.
So, and probably there are a lot of there are like two different extremes. So people saying, oh yeah, network marketing is bad, and then the other people who are successful, they are saying like the network marketing is the only way to be successful. So, and if you can shed some light into this, that will be super helpful. And just my first question that I have, what are the most common fears about network marketing? So
I think the biggest fear that many people have is that you're going to take advantage of me, or I'm going to look foolish for getting involved in something like this. And those emotions run pretty deep. I think that it's an industry fraught with difficulties, because there are a lot of business models out there that are really designed around signing people up and actually make money from signing people up. And that's a key question to ask when you're looking at a network marketing opportunity. Are people making money from me signing up? Because if that's the case, you want to run away from that, because then you're just a number and people don't have a vested interest in your success. And actually, that's something we cover with people right away. The other fear that often comes up is, well, isn't this just like a pyramid scheme? I mean, my first impression of network marketing before I got into our business was, it's like kind of a pyramid scheme. I'm not really sure why, but I think that's what I'm supposed to think about it. And it seems like just a bunch of moms who are trying to make money but never really do. That was my initial perception. And actually what intrigued me was the couple that introduced us to this opportunity are debt-free cash flow millionaires themselves, and have been since their early 30s. So it's like, okay, this is something totally different. And then as we started to talk, they just explained, look, our model is not sign you up, see if you can sell something, see you later approach. You know, we're looking for business partners where we can structure some goals over 3 to 5 years so that your life changes and our life changes with you. And so that's a totally different mindset. And actually, if you find a professional network marketing opportunity, it can be a beautiful way to do business because, I mean, Pablo, you've started now, you know, one or more businesses, so you know all the difficulties you run into. I mean, you have to set up an LLC, you have to figure out a marketing strategy, you have to figure out a supply channel, you have to, you know, it goes on and on. And one of the nice things about network marketing is all that stuff is figured out already. There's like a car ready to drive. You just have to get in and trust the seat enough to turn the key. So that's what I love about it, because I'm a super creative person, but I want to create results. So our business team tends to attract very results-oriented people that are like, look, I don't honestly care what the details are as long as I know it works and as long as I know you're somebody that I can trust. And so we kind of start there and build a relationship, and works out pretty well. You know, so there's some good companies out there for sure. There's a lot of ones that I would say definitely be careful about. So, but at the end of the day, what I find is that people with a low self-image have a very hard time opening up and being vulnerable because they're so afraid of getting hurt. And I understand that. But typically what we'll do is we'll find somebody who's got a little higher self-image, and they're like, look, can we just have a heart-to-heart conversation about what this really is, how it really works? And then really good things can start to happen. So you just got to find somebody that you can trust. And at the end of the day, just realize, look, nobody can make you do something you don't want to do. So figure out, and the other thing I'll mention, and I hope I'm not talking too long, is always look for results. So the person that's offering you the opportunity, ask them, what are the results you have personally, or the people that are coaching you have? And make sure that you're taking advice from people with results. And that applies to any endeavor.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's great that you mentioned that you actually invest in people and you sit down with people and explain how things should be done. Because I saw a couple experiences where people are trying to do marketing or any kind of business. Because when you do business, you are, very vulnerable in the sense of you can be, rejected so many times, like, especially when you are trying to sell your product or service, and you will offer it like one time, second time, third time, and by the time number 49 or 50, maybe you will start giving up and saying, oh, everybody, saying wrong, or they don't want to, buy my product or service. And you're right. You need to have like a higher self-esteem to just, get over, that feeling and just move forward. And thanks for sharing about all these like different fears and what kind of people can do in this kind of business? Is that for staying at home moms, or is that for people that are looking for additional side income, or is that can be a full-time job for someone?
Any and all of the above. The beautiful thing about our business is that we really sit down with people and try to figure out what their personal goals are, what their situation is. And we're upfront with people. We're like, look, this is not get rich quick, but if you can, we will help you find 5 to 15 hours a week minimum. I mean, most people watch SportsCenter 5 hours a week.
Yeah.
And so their job done, just turn off the TV. But I mean, you can do this, like we're doing this full time, and we've got some big goals. And so we're excited about being able to do it full time. But a lot of the people on our team are doing it as a second income stream, and it can be fantastic for that. And you know, what I tell people too is, it's so cool when you have a second income stream, because it takes the pressure off your day job. You know, otherwise, if you're having a hard time at work or you're working for a difficult person, you're like, well, you know, this guy's got my whole future. He's holding my whole future over my head, and there's nothing I can do about it. And so then our business is like a pressure relief valve. You know, it's like, oh, okay, well, I can create something else, and then I don't have everything riding on what Joe, hard to work with person manager, is telling me every day when I come into the office.
Yeah. And is that, I know that I'm trying to ask different questions that I sent you before, but as we speak, I have just all these new ideas that come to me about network marketing or any kind of marketing. Is that will work just for extrovert people, or, you know, introverts, they can also do, you know, network marketing business?
No, yeah, that's a great question. And I'll tell you, I am probably slightly introverted. I am not a natural salesperson, but fortunately, the way we do the business, you don't have to be a salesperson, because we really don't sell it. I was telling somebody else earlier today, you know, we're just looking for people that are already looking for something. And, you know, and actually a lot of successful people are like that. They're like, if you've got something that works, I want to hear about it. And so we don't try to talk people into what we're doing. We just share, we say we share what's available and see what kind of response we get. And back to your question about doing sales too, you know, and dealing with no's, like one of the books in our mentorship program is called Go for No. Okay. And that really helped me, because at first I was like, oh man, you know, like if you say no to my opportunity, you're rejecting me. And now I've come to realize, no, they're not rejecting me. It's just, this isn't the right fit for them right now. I mean, that could change down the road. And actually my job is not to get them into my thing. My job is just to share what's available and see how they respond. So now I'm like, hey, I did my job. I shared what's available. I got to a no, so I know that I finished my job, and now I can go on to the next person.
Yeah, great. And also I know that to be a successful salesperson, you need to have passion, you know, passion in product or service that you are trying to sell. Do you also teach people how to find that passion, or how to use that passion as they build their network and everything else? Because
that is huge. I mean, that is one of the two keys to success. You have to have a big burning why that's going to just slice through any difficulty like a hot knife through butter. And you know, like I actually have a whiteboard in my office, and I wrote down 5 whys. Okay, number 1 is Heather, my wife.
Okay.
Number 2 are my 3 boys, Nate, Karch, and Noah. Number 3 is I can't even see my dad and mom who have passed away, but I want to honor their legacy.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Russia.
Oh, okay.
Because of the 10 years I had over there, and what we have unfinished work to do there. And number 5 is too personal. I'm not even going to try to share.
Oh, okay.
It'll make me cry. So sorry about that. But you gotta have that, and you've got to develop that. And you got to keep that in front of you. And if you do that, what will happen is it will eliminate all the other things that distract you, because you're like, I'm gonna win for my wife. I'm gonna win for my boys. Okay. Then the second thing you have to have is you have to have positive words that you speak to yourself.
Yeah.
So you can't overcome thoughts with thoughts. You have to overcome thoughts with words. And I thought that was so weird when I first heard it, but it's true. And if I'm just talking to myself differently now than 2 years ago, and it's fun.
Oh,
So
that's a good point.
yeah. So anyways, that's off of one of our training audios that I was just listening to yesterday. But this guy succeeded at a super high level in our business. And I mean, I know, like, I'm part of an organization of 15,000 people,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 25 families that have succeeded at the highest level, one of which is my personal coach. And then I've gotten to know some of these other guys either personally or just through their, talks that they give. And I mean, this guy is like, he's just a tiger. I mean, he's so fun to listen to. And it's like, it's just infectious. You get around somebody like that and you're just like, yeah, give me more of this. This is great. So, sorry, I got to stop. I get too excited.
No, it's good stuff. So, and it's better to talk about this before you will step into something, because when you are in business or when you are committing for something, you need to be focused and committed. That way, you can be successful. And because we just all doing so many things at the same time, and but to be successful, we need to be focused and have that passion. And also, I have a question. For example, if someone is working, a 9-to-5 job, and they also have kids and busy with everything else, is that still possible for them, to step and do, network marketing? I know there are a lot of, different things that can be done in a network marketing, but you can maybe talk in specific about your product. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, my mentor worked 70 hours a week at his job, and he was very good at it, electrical engineer. He completely built his business nights and weekends outside of that 70 hours. And within 5 years, he was making 6 times in his side hustle what he was making in his day job. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it is totally possible. And, what he will tell you is that the best benefits were not even the financial benefits, but just how he grew personally. And, back to your point earlier about, can an introvert do this? He was a total introvert, didn't know how to talk to anybody. In fact, he tells a story about his first attempt to talk to somebody about the business. And he walks into a Barnes and Noble, and he's kind of like stalking this guy, and he doesn't know what to say. And, the guy's like, "Are you weird or something?" And finally he looks at this guy and he says, "Are you looking?" And then he just talks about how far he's come since then. And if you meet him today, you're like, "You're an introvert? How is that possible?"
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of being an introvert or an extrovert. You just learn people skills, and you can be yourself. Like, you can be an introvert and still succeed at a really high level, which is, my coach is a great example of that. You can be a mild introvert with some extroverted tendencies like me, still succeed at a high level. The guy who runs our entire organization was the manager of a car wash, didn't even have a high school degree. He got a GRE and, got in our business and went nowhere for like 7 years. Now he's, incredibly successful. I mean, he's helped thousands of people. He'll share, he just built a beautiful new home in North Carolina, and he'll share videos from his back porch, just to motivate people and say, look, it's worth it. And, his stories will bring you to tears.
That's amazing.
I love being around people that have transformed their lives, and it motivates me to continue growing myself too.
So what's one of the key secrets? I know that you would not say all your secrets right now because people need to sign up for training and business plan and coaching. But what do you see, what distinguishes very successful network marketing person who makes, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million possibly, and, build that house, everything else from just, I don't like that word mediocre, but person who is trying but still making $200 or $500 a month. So what's the difference? And people can do it for, the same amount of years or years.
Yeah, it's just don't quit. It's don't quit. Don't quit.
Okay.
There's a very successful entrepreneur in Milwaukee. It's nothing to do with network marketing, nothing to do with our business. I was at an event a few weeks ago, and they asked everybody, he was part of a panel, and they asked everybody, what's one piece of advice you would give? And he said, don't quit. And I'm like, totally.
Yeah.
There's a gal on our business team who's been in our business for 30 years, 28 years, nothing happened. And just in the last 2 years, she's now approaching $8,000 a month.
Oh, wow. Not bad. Yeah. Not bad at all. Yeah.
And so it's just don't quit. I mean, I am so happy for her. It's so exciting. And she'll tell you, she said, it's just all about finding the right mentor. That's all it is. And then you just don't quit. So I guess those would be my two keys.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think a lot of people quit before or like just before they see the results. So, and there are a lot of,
There's a book I read. I can't even remember which. It's on our. We've got like a first year book list, and it might be Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, or it might be Dale Carnegie. I can't remember. But anyways, the illustration is this guy who's like mining for gold, and he spends 3 years digging, and he's finally like, well, I haven't produced any gold, and he gives up, and guy comes along, buys his claim, and finds out the guy was 3 feet away from a major gold deposit.
Oh, yeah.
So like, I am not quitting because I know I'm just 3 feet away.
Yeah, that's a great point. Don't quit. Oh, that's amazing. I just, I would not go into this. So let's all just go to the next question, just to save time. And you just explained about the time so that it can be done on a part-time basis. And one of the main questions, do I have to talk to my friends and family about network marketing? Or because usually what happened with my friends when they joined like a network marketing company, so they started, from, speaking to, brothers, sisters, moms and dads, and then to the church small groups. Right. And so basically everywhere they go, they just sell. Is that the right strategy, or there is like a different way how not to be, labeled as, crazy, network marketing guy?
Yes.
Everybody's trying to avoid.
Yeah. Don't be that guy. And the key is to learn how to communicate your opportunity professionally. We have a saying on our team, our business professionally communicated is very well received. Mm-hmm. And the big principle is this, that, what good business people everywhere know is that what you want to do is win friends and influence people. I mean, that's Dale Carnegie's book, right? So you start with a relationship and you just look for ways to add value to every relationship you have. Maybe that's a family member you've known for a long time. Maybe it's somebody that you just met in the grocery store line. Doesn't matter, but you win friends and then look for ways to bless them. And if you have that mindset, what you communicate and how you communicate it is going to come out very differently than, hey, would you please buy my soap?
Yeah, I know. Totally. I have some stories, but I would not take the time right now. But, it's very interesting what's happening. What about some practical questions? If somebody will decide, okay, I am in, I would like to start. So like 2 questions that come here. So what companies or what practices they should avoid? So for example, if somebody will, hear our podcast and they will say, okay, tomorrow I need to join some kind of network company and I would like to make that $1 million within the next 3 years or 5 years. And they will they will just Google and find like network marketing company near me. And but what are the red flags? Is that like each network marketing company is a good company, or there's like something that you need to avoid? You don't need to say the names of the companies, but what are the red flags if somebody is trying to join the network company? And what are the red flags that will say no, that's not a good company, or that's not a good network? So
yeah. I would say look for somebody in your existing sphere of influence that can give you a positive recommendation, that kind of gives you a stepping stone for building some trust. And then secondly, look up the companies that are involved and see how the Better Business Bureau rates them.
okay.
Like for example, we're AAA rated with the Better Business Bureau. And so I would say, that's a really good step, obviously. Look for that Better Business Bureau rating. But even more than that, I would say, even though the companies we work with are rated that way with the Better Business Bureau, I wouldn't necessarily vouch for everybody that uses our business system. So ultimately it comes down to who do you want to be in business with? Is it somebody who's really has integrity? And then the other thing would be look for longevity. There are a lot of network marketing businesses that kind of pop up and they grow really fast for a few years, but then they run into a problem. I have a friend who was in one that was growing really fast, and then all of a sudden they ran into some legal issues, and they said, oh, we just decided we're getting rid of our network marketing compensation plan. Well, he just invested 5 years of his life in that, and it went away. So you don't want that. So I would say, you want something that's been around for 10, 20 years and has stood the test of time. I mean, in our case, we've been around 60 years. And and then the other thing too, is you want a company that both has longevity and then has agility in terms of being able to adapt to the changing economic environment and changing technology environment too. So those would be some things to think about.
Yeah. So, and thank you so much. I really appreciate that feedback. And so what would you say to the people that are thinking about network marketing? What are the next steps besides just speaking to somebody who already in this business? So
you just want to find somebody who is a successful network marketing business owner, and then just pursue them and ask them a lot of questions and earn their mentorship. And actually, our process for bringing people into our business, you have to prove yourself to us. We'll take you through 6 or 7 conversations. We're going to ask you to do some things along the way. And by the end of that, we will know whether you're serious, whether you can prioritize your time, whether you're somebody who will continue to communicate under adversity. And, if there are red flags, we'll just say, you know what, this probably isn't the best fit for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good point. And I think it's always nice to see, someone who is ahead of you, maybe like few years ahead of you. And that gives you the idea where you can be also. And maybe you don't need to copy everything that person did, because we are all different people. We have different personalities, but some habits or some practical steps, they can be the same. Like you explained, having mentor, being consistent, overcoming insecurities, and I think it's very helpful to have somebody who is standing by your side and just explaining you or helping you to find the next step, because when you build a business, and as you explained, when you are starting your own business, you need to figure out everything by yourself. And yes, you can find a lot of tutorials on Google right now, but I mean, how to find the first employee, how to pay the contractors, how to, file the taxes, how to build a website, how to there are just so many questions that people can be overwhelmed, or they will just do one thing right, but they will do like 5 other things wrong, and they will be just spinning the wheels on the same on the same level. Yeah.
You know, and the other thing is, you know, even with all of those resources available on Google, none of us can see what we can't see. And that's where I found the mentoring relationship so valuable. My mentor sees stuff about me that I cannot see.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you a very personal example. He called me yesterday. Actually, we use a messaging system. So he just left me a message. And he said, you know, Steve, so I'm just going to be super direct with you here. You've got to make the switch from wanting to accomplish a goal to committing to accomplishing a goal.
That's a good one, yeah.
And he said, you know, you make that switch and your subconscious will go to work for you and you will accomplish the goal because you've just committed to accomplishing it. And I'm like, you know, he's actually said this maybe once or twice before, not quite as directly. Maybe I wasn't quite ready to receive it, but I was totally ready to receive it yesterday. And this has kind of been growing in us. And so I just sent him a message right back and I said, hey, thank you. That was just what I needed to hear today. And we've realized that, you know, success in anything, like success is war. That, in fact, my mentor, when he was coming up in the business, he talked to somebody else in our system who was really successful. He said, if you could tell me one thing about succeeding, what would it be? And the guy looks him in the eye and says, success is war. And that is true. You just have to commit to doing whatever it takes to be successful. And that, you know, that ties back to that burning why. But you go to war for yourself. You go to war for your family. And I'm going to say something else to you, Pavel, that's really important. You know, we're all trained to be employees, but what nobody teaches us in college is that at the end of the day, if you're an employee, you're an expense on your corporation's balance sheet. I don't care how much people say they care about you, you're an expense. There was a major health company just yesterday that announced to all of their COVID-19 frontline workers, we're really sorry, but we have to give you a 10% pay cut because the economic environment has changed. We love you, but you're an expense on our balance sheet. That was basically the message. And that's why I'm so passionate about what we're doing. I think everybody should own a business asset where they are the owner. 90% of the wealth in our country is generated not by employees, but by business owners. 90% of us work as employees. We make 10% of the wealth. 10% of us are business owners. They create 90% of the wealth. And Robert Kiyosaki will tell you that. He talks about that in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's another book that we always recommend people read called Business of the 21st Century that talks about network marketing and how to do it professionally. I mean, if you want like an action step coming out of this podcast, go get that book and read that book. But that's why everybody should be doing this, because you got to have something that you own. You don't want during COVID-19 somebody coming to you and saying, I really love you, but I'm sorry, I just cut your pay 10% and I hope you don't die tomorrow. I'm sorry. You know, so I'm just like, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. That's a good point. Thanks so much. I also feel inspired after, you know, our conversation, and I think it's just very powerful. And I'll get also your contact information if somebody would like to, you know, start to do network marketing and they'll have questions. Maybe I can refer them to you.
LinkedIn. Just go to LinkedIn, Steve Godfrey, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay, we'll do that.
Drop me a direct message. You know, we'll just get to know each other. That's where the magic always happens, through relationships and conversations.
Yeah. Steve, thank you so much. I just really appreciate your time and your passion about what you do. So it's very inspirational. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.